I'm sorry, did you just admit that you're not a fucking virgin?
Yeah, I would like you to unpack
No, she's bullshitting.
Oh, fuck you! I hate that you know me that well.
You're such a bullshitter.
Anyways, welcome back to Book Club Unhinged, where we talk about books and you shut up and listen. So, this is episode 2. We're in the Cruel Prince by Holly Black. Can I fucking talk? No. We're going to be discussing chapters 11 through 20 today, so who would like to start us off with their first comment about chapter 11?
My first comment about chapter 11 is that I can't find what page it's on.
89.
Thank you!
It's on chapter 11.
I literally hate you.
Well, this is when
do,
Maddox, like, you did well in the tournament, knowing damn well he is, like, super disappointed in her.
Oh, oof.
And then he, like, literally shuts down her future, and then she's like, I know something you don't know. I'm already a spy in Dane's court, so shut the fuck up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we've all been there. We've all been that. We've all had that one moment where it's like your parents think you're messing it up, and it's just like, ha!
Dude, and then Taryn, again, is a bitch.
Taryn
Which is this, like...
She says... Jude says, look, I say on the stairs, I tried to do what you wanted, but I couldn't. I don't want you to hate me for it. It's my life. And then she said, she turns around, your life to squander? Like, shut the fuck up.
Well, also my favorite part is that, you know, you can argue that maybe Jude is squandering her life, because let's be honest, Girly makes very poor decisions.
Yeah,
but Taryn makes an arguably worse decision.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I don't know that.
yeah.
But Taryn, here's the thing about that, she's squandering her life too.
That's what
by
I'm
not
saying.
living it.
Yeah.
So
That's
they're
what I'm
squandering their lives in different ways, but like, would you rather squander your life and live a little, or squander your life and do nothing?
At least she's going down fighting, you know? Like, Taryn's
Right.
just being a little bitch and taking everything.
She's like, oh yeah, let me just accept the fact that my quote-unquote friends almost drowned me and my sister, and
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say anything. Which,
Yeah.
by the way, maybe this is just the youngest child daddy's girl in me. Had that happened, I would have been like, Father, guess what happened? And like, I would have absolutely told Maddox that happened.
Yeah.
oh
I
yeah,
I almost got drowned.
Mm-hmm.
But then it gets worse
Yeah.
this afternoon. When she's in classes. Okay, here's the thing. Noggle, I fucking love Noggle. The
Yeah.
teacher, I feel like he's such
Yeah.
a sweet old man, and Carter was so
Mhm.
mean to him, and I'm like, dude, lay off. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
We stand Noggle.
We stand Noggle.
He's the only character in this book that makes decent decisions.
You know, he just is so nice. Like, oh, he's just talking about. He just wants to be.
He's like that one teacher that
astronomer, you know.
he's like that one teacher that everybody makes fun of, but you have that sympathy and you're like, listen, dude, I like you. You're good. Like, I'm paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Jude does make a good note about Carden also being a bitch again. Being like, how can anything matter to someone like that after talking about, like, him being able to change the lesson on a whim and just act like an absolute toddler of a child?
Dude, I know.
And she's like, she's basically pitying him at this point, and I'm like, yeah, he kind of,
And
he
then
doesn't really even deserve
Valerian just, like, doing the same thing. It's like, this is dull. Prophecy is for hags and small folk. Like you?
Yeah. Oh.
I wish to be lessened in love. Good luck.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
And then
It's
also,
enough for me,
tell me
dog.
what that might portend success in love. A girl taking off her dress. Cricket chirp, cricket chirp. Like,
Yeah,
no.
you're not funny.
You're not funny.
Fucking.
No, you're not funny. You're not special. Shut the fuck up and sit down and watch the stars.
Okay.
Maybe you'll actually learn something.
Like,
Nice
when,
boy syndrome. That's what it is.
When Nacasia slaps Jude though, that was about to set me off, dude.
Oh my
Let
word,
me
yeah.
just fucking tell you.
Yeah.
I was like, bitch, I'm gonna come for you and your loved ones.
Oh, her eyesight is so poor. Poor Jude. It's so hard to overcome so many disadvantages. Like, first of all,
Yeah.
contacts. Second of all, shut up. Third of all, catch these hands, because I can see them.
Yeah.
Can you see my hands? You're about to catch them. Like, oh.
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is this not, correct me if I'm wrong, is this the start of, like, Locke kind of having a thing for Jude?
Well, this is the fairy fruit.
Yeah.
When they feed
The
her the
fairy fruit.
It is
Okay.
the fairy fruit.
So, in that case, we'll unpack that later. Oh, we forgot to add spoilers in our intro. We gotta do that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Guys,
anyway.
there's spoilers.
For the Cruel Prince. This episode contains spoilers for the Cruel Prince, chapter 11 through chapter 20.
Obviously. Anyway,
let's get on with it.
back to what we were saying. The fairy fruit thing, just like, how does she? That surprises me, is that they go that far, and she still doesn't say anything. I think one of the biggest thing that just irks me about YA fantasy is that they never want to seek justice for themselves. Because listen,
she wants to take justice into her own hands.
Yeah, there is a good aspect about being able to turn the other cheek and, just take things. Because, you can't pick every battle. But there's others where it's like, okay, no. Where it's like, what? This is the most unrealistic thing ever, where, like, even the most, like, timid of people would be like, no, listen, like, you could have killed me. Yeah. You suck, Yeah.
And the fact that I feel for Noggle even more here, because he literally cannot do anything.
I know.
Because they're gentry kids.
Yeah.
Like, he cannot say, like, dude, your kid almost killed another kid. Like,
because nobody would care.
Nobody would give a shit, especially because she's immortal.
Like, only Maddox would really care, and he would care out of obligation.
Yeah.
He wouldn't actually care. I feel like maybe
Absolutely,
I don't even know if love is the right word for Jude. I think there's something there.
Yeah.
But it's like that typical, it's like the stereotypical stepkid relationship you see, where it's like, I love you, but you're not mine.
Yeah.
It's like that weird kind of tension. So it's just, and I feel bad for her. Like, genuinely, I just feel bad.
Yeah. I think something that really drew me into this book is the intensity of the cruelty of the fairy world. Like, noting on, okay, yeah, she probably, this scene, I remember the first time reading it pissed me off the most, because I'm like, okay, that's taking a little bit too far from my comfort zone, but at the same time, I liked that my comfort zone was pushed, because I think it added a new dimension to what YA fantasy looks like. I think that's what's a cool thing about the series. Yeah, Jude makes stupid decisions in hiding, I think, this from her family. I think it had more consequences in the end.
But so here's one of the things that was kind of like, that I think is interesting, and I don't want to say it, I don't like it, it just bugs me a little bit. One of my big things with fantasy is, I think you need to really emphasize the world building, like, give that detail, because it's different from it's different from the norm.
Yeah.
I feel like in some sections, Holly Black is just like, yep, this is the fantasy world, deal. And you're just like, but why? Where'd this fruit come from? Why is this fruit so bad? What has it done to people? It's like, it's a bad apple, don't eat it, and then we're going to make the main character eat it, and it's going to be this whole thing. Where it's just kind of like, I feel like maybe just even a little bit semblance of, like, explanation would be great.
Paragraph.
Yeah. Right, because it just feels sometimes jarring, where it's kind of like,
exactly.
Yes, this is the world, you're in it, have fun!
Yeah, it's like, figure it out for yourself when you need a little bit more.
Which maybe is okay, because that's kind of what Jude had to do, and maybe she's trying to to kind of
emphasize that.
Emphasize and show that to the readers.
Like Jude's journal.
Yeah,
that's true.
This is a diary, basically, for Jude. Yeah. So that's kind of maybe why we're missing some context here.
Which I think it's interesting. Like, I'm definitely not saying, I'm like, the writing style sucks and the world building sucks. It's just, it's different and it feels jarring.
Well, it's also like very different style of a book. Like, this is a fae world where there's not a lot of rules. Like, if you're coming from something like the last book series we read, which Crooked Kingdom, Six of Crows, Lee Bardugo is very detail-oriented in her world. And, like, Holly Black is, too, as well. But this is such a different world from those two. Like, this makes less sense to us than a world like Six of Crows would, because that makes sense to us because it's very similar to, like, almost like a parallel universe. This is, like,
a complete
180.
Well, which I think is interesting is I want to see how she goes on to integrate the mortal world more in her series and more in this book in general, because because we have some knowledge of how it's integrated, but not much. Yeah. So I'm kind of like, she could have just been like, oh yeah, it doesn't, like, no, Fae is its own separate thing. The real world doesn't exist, but it does.
Yeah,
it's just because with Six of Crows and other fantasy books, you feel like that is the world. That's
Yeah.
That
it.
is the world.
There's
yeah.
no outside world. Like, that is what exists in their universe. Whereas this one, it's like, wait, the real world, the world that we know, does exist, is
and
a
they're
thing,
aware of it.
and they know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's just some thoughts that I've been having lately.
This is the first instance where we see Locke step in to defend Jude.
Yeah.
This is
How long did it take?
that was it took
Mhm.
because she's dancing basically naked.
Yeah.
Like with her big black polka dotted bra and underpants. The fact that I feel like I owned that exact same pair when I was in middle school. I read that and I was like,
Yeah.
flashbacks, dude.
Oh,
Flashbacks.
Yeah.
But then it's only when Carden asked her to kiss my foot and tell me how great I am, tell me how much you admire me. And then Locke steps in and says, enough. Like, it feels scripted.
Yeah.
It feels
it does.
seriously scripted.
It does. Yep.
Where he just gets to humiliate her enough, and then Locke can still come in and be the hero.
Yeah.
And get her attention.
Yeah.
You know?
Without
does
making
feel
him look that bad to the other people.
Exactly.
That's true. That's what I always wondered is what's going... Because getting back to what I was saying earlier, like, I don't trust Locke. Something's up. I don't like it, and yeah, there is something going on with that. But it's just interesting. I hadn't really thought about it being scripted, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
It just feels that way, you know?
Yeah, and
It just feels planned ahead of time.
well, I'm wondering, why is Locke the one who was scripted? Because I feel like Carden would be less suspicious.
Yeah.
Because it would be like, he's the prince, his word goes, maybe he's having a bad day, and like, nobody would question it.
Yeah.
So like, on the off chance this isn't scripted, nobody would question if Carden was like, no, stop, like,
Yeah.
whatever, this is dumb,
yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
I'm bored
But it's
now.
Locke, and everyone's kind of like, I feel like, if I were in that situation, I were Nicasia, I'd be like, what's your deal? Like, what's
Yeah.
going on here,
That's what, because Nicasia doesn't say shit. Nicasia literally evaporates from this conversation.
She's just
Like,
like,
she doesn't-
bye.
she's like,
Hey, I'm gonna head out.
I'm gonna head out. I've had
Yeah.
my fun. Like, she makes her dance naked, and then literally it's just an exchange between Carden and Locke, and then Nicasia is, like, literally never mentioned after that. Like, does she evaporate? Like, where did she go?
Well, him and like her and Valerian, I think, just go off laughing with Carden.
Well, yeah.
But Valerian also in this scene I hated Valerian when I read through this.
No,
the
me
first
too.
time. I do like, Allie, that you are picking up on the ickiness of Locke this early.
Yeah,
because
something's going on.
very
I'm like,
first
you
time-
are a red flag.
The very
I don't.
first time I read this, I did not pick up on that.
I didn't
I'm
either.
like,
I was like, no.
Well,
I actually thought
maybe
you
it's just
didn't-
because I've experienced a certain situation like this, and I can see recently, and I can see something's up.
parallels.
Yeah,
It's just-
it's the parallels.
and it's-
I'm just like,
Especially this line that he says. So he walks her to Maddox's estate, and then she's like, hey, I need to go alone from here. And then he says he looks at me as though he sees something entirely different. There's an intensity in his gaze that makes me stand up a little straighter, despite the dirt. Because you're like a story that hasn't happened yet. Because I want to see what you will do. I want to be a part of the unfolding tale.
like what?
no.
No, that's not a man written by a woman. That's a man written by
a man.
Scary.
That's a
Like-
man written by Scary!
Yeah, like that's not a man written by a woman. That's a man written by a woman who's been wronged.
Yeah.
Like,
This is the toxic guy.
This is toxicity.
I wish I had seen that in the beginning, but I really freaking didn't.
no,
the first time
I'm
reading this.
on to him. And again, for context, I am the only one who has not read this book. Those two have, and
Yeah.
I like something's up, and I don't like it. I mean, I like it because I'm very interested to see where it goes, but I'm like, Jude, you're too trusting, like, because I would, I'd be all over
It's
it.
funny because she's so untrusting of everybody that the first person that she trusts is Locke. Like, when he's given practically no reason to trust him.
She just needed somebody to latch onto.
Yeah, and she latches onto him because Taryn's a bitch.
Yeah, it's just.
And then Maddox going protective dad mode, and then she's like, I want to tell you what happened, but I don't. Like, literally, I don't. And that...
See, maybe it's just me, but like I'm definitely the type of person where if I'm directly asked about something, I can't lie, unless it's like a
I know
surprise
you
party.
can't.
I literally, if I
No, you're bad at lying about surprise parties,
I am
too.
that was Amy's fault. I like, the way I quote-unquote lie is, I lie by omission. I don't say anything. If I am
You lie like a fairy.
Yeah, if I am directly confronted, 9 times out of 10, I'll spill. But, so if Maddox had been like, looked at me and told me he did this, I would have been like, it was Carden! Like, I can't lie. There's no point. Lying is dumb.
Well, then she just has a flashback to him killing her mom, and I'm like, okay, now that kind of makes sense why she didn't want to tell. But, like, he would be killing the people that, like, she is almost, like, pleading in her mind. It's like, make them stop, make them leave me alone.
Yeah.
Like,
also, I mean, she does think about it. She's like, she does wonder what would happen if she did
and
say.
And it doesn't necessarily, you know, I'm not saying that Maddox wouldn't kill them, because, like, let's be honest, it's Maddox, but, you know, there would be some type of altercation, and I hate it that it's the fact immediately she assumes he's gonna kill him. Not wrong, but at the same time, Maddox may like to kill people and may have his drives. He's not an idiot. He's not gonna kill, like, children of the most prolific, noble families in the Fae.
He'd raise hell, but
he'd raise some hell, but he's not gonna kill him. He's not an like, because he may be very rash and very, like, ready to strike while the iron is hot, but he's not dumb.
Yeah.
So that's just the logic that I have seen with Maddox.
Also, here's the thing. I find it ironic that they waited to attack Jude in that way when Taryn was not there. The one day that Taryn was not with her and couldn't help her.
Well, because they probably think that it's their siblings. Because a lot of things, you know, it's the whole business of, like, I can mess with my family, but you can't.
Yeah.
Like, it's different when you're with your sibling.
And then the end of this chapter, it ends with her getting her first assignment from the Court of Shadows.
Oh, yes.
That, I honestly love when she starts to become the Court of Shadows and just gets initiated into that. The Jude that comes out of that, I think, is...
It's dark. She comes out dark.
It's definitely a development that I'm very interested to see.
Yeah. And then, dude, this Hollow Hall, chapter 12, I panic attacked the whole time. I was putting myself in her shoes, and I was like,
See, I would love to be a spy. It would be fun. I'd be so bad at it. Because I would just open the door and be like...
I feel like I might be able to get away with it, but I'd have a panic attack the whole time.
Oh, yeah. If I was her, I would have totally gotten found by Balkan and Carden. I would have absolutely been found out.
Hey!
Yeah.
I was just cleaning.
Dude, the human servants, though, like...
That part is very eerie.
Oh,
very eerie.
Because it's like, it triggers that uncanny valley, where it's like, this is...
Yeah. Oh, throwing it back to the beginning of this chapter, when she's talking to Vivi, and when she I think she says, she's having, like, almost, not an altercation, but there's, like, Vivi's challenging her, and she's like, I know I'm not being fair, maybe I don't know how to be a good sister anymore. And I'm like, or shut up.
Do you not know how to be a good sister, or is Taryn not being a good sister and gaslighting and
I think none of them know how to be a good sister. Vivi, ignores them half the time.
Oh, yeah.
Taryn's just a bitch, and then
Jude's just there.
Jude is a monster in some rights.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
They are not the worst siblings.
Not
really
unwarranted, though. It's not.
Yeah.
I understand. It's one of those things where I kind of understand why Jude's going to be a monster, at least as of now, because again, I have not finished the book. But it's just
character arc is very interesting.
It is
in the way that she makes decisions and how she thinks about things.
She thinks.
The problem is her lack of thinking.
That's half the problem.
She likes to bullshit herself into thinking that she thinks, but she's really actually a very impulsive person.
Yeah, she really is.
Yeah. Well, that's what I think is interesting is when Jude is making a decision, the way Black kind of she writes it in a way where it seems like she's thinking about it, but she thinks about it for 2 sentences and then it's like, here's my decision. Yeah. But it makes you think she's thinking about it.
Yeah.
But deep down you're like, you're not thinking.
You're not thinking. She says stuff like this, I don't think I'm being fair to Vivi, maybe I'm not a good sister anymore, and then jumps into something else. Doesn't really take the time to consider and ponder. She just has these
fleeting thoughts,
which is kind of nice, because I like that not every thought needs to be elaborated, because some authors, with their characters, it's I'm gonna have this character think about chicken tacos, and now I'm gonna write a giant paragraph about, like, well, when they were little, their grandmother made them chicken tacos, and then the grandma just, like, died or something, and there's a whole paragraph that really doesn't need to be here.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to have that balance where it's like, oh, I think I'm a bad sister. Anyway, the Court of Shadows. It's like, no, let's expand on
Let's
that.
unpack that.
Let's unpack it. Let's talk about this.
Mhm. Okay, Allie, question. What
Yeah.
did you think of her going into the office?
I think I know what you're gonna say.
And finding Alice Adventures in Wonderland and kind of like experiencing the Hollow Hall, finding Cardin's potential room, office,
So
and that whole scene that we find her
this is
in.
the part that I really liked,
Mhm.
is that it was Alice in Wonderland.
Mhm.
Big parallel, big, just not. I don't want to say contrast. I don't know if contrast is the right word. It just fit. It
Mhm.
made sense. Because I have to wonder, she talked about how her mom used to read Alice in Wonderland
Yep.
to her. That
Yep.
was the whole bit.
Yep.
What I find interesting is, was their mom trying to say something about the choice of book?
Ooh.
Because, think about it, she could have just been reading her the human books. She could have been reading, like, The Little
Cinderella.
Engine That Could,
But
and Cinderella.
she picked Alice in Wonderland.
Exactly, which is, let's be honest, about as Feywild as you can get when it comes from a human story.
Yeah.
So I have to wonder if maybe she was trying, especially to Vivi, maybe trying to establish that type of connection without spoiling too much.
Yeah.
Because as a child, can you imagine being like, you took me away from the world of the fairies? Well, you're the worst mommy in the world.
Yeah.
You
Even as humans,
So-
like, they wouldn't understand. And I think maybe in a way to contrast that, she knew that they were eventually going to end up back there, or she knew that her time being hidden was
because she
fleeting.
can't hide. She can't hide forever.
Yeah.
Especially because she knew she was married to Maddox.
Mhm.
Like, there was going to be a way that he found out, and she knew it
Yeah.
wasn't going to be forever.
Yeah. So I have to wonder if that was just kind of their exposure to the Fae, if
Yeah.
you will. Because
Yeah.
she couldn't tell them. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And then when she finds that note on the desk,
Oh,
the
yeah,
note. I know the provenance of the blusher mushroom that you ask after, but what you do with it must not be tied to me.
Wait.
After this, I consider my debt paid.
Page one,
Let my
two.
name be stricken from your lips. Cryptic as fuck.
Yeah, I
Crap.
honestly, the
Like-
first time I read through that, I did not get it at all.
Mm-mm.
I was literally like, this makes no sense. I don't see how this is going to work towards any sort of plot. What?
And then right after that, she's like, all right, I'm copying it down. Then I'm like, shit, of course, because of course
Yeah.
it fucking does. The
Yeah.
Balkan walks in
Mm-hmm.
with
and Carden.
Prince Carden in
And
tow.
fucking beats the living shit out of him.
Oh yeah. I remember that. Can we
That's
also
not
talk
amusing.
about, what does she do? She hides so obviously.
I know!
Like, isn't
Yeah.
she just like under the desk?
Yeah, she's
And-
like under a desk or under a
and
chair.
She's next to a chair.
Oh my
And
god.
they don't see her.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
that's like rolling a
I
nap.
scuttle underneath one of the large leather chairs, folding myself into a tight ball. I wish I'd left that stupid book where I found it, because its one sharp corner is digging into my underarm. Like, what?
Like, she's holding a book curled up under a chair. How
That's
do they
like-
not see
That
her?
is literally like they both rolled a nat 1 in perception. And it's just like, oh, you walk into the room and you see a chair. Like,
Yeah.
how was
Especially
she
because
not?
she describes that there's practically nothing in the room to hide behind.
Exactly.
Like, she...
Well, also, doesn't like Carden end up on the ground at one point?
he
Like,
does.
how does he not look over and be like, what are you doing in my room?
He's
Yeah.
currently being whipped. And the
Yeah,
fact
he
that
is.
he has the human servant whip
Mhm.
him,
Yeah, that's
like...
fucked beyond all measures.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe
Well-
that's where Carden got his for human mortal girls.
Let's
Okay.
change the subject. Because we don't
Carden.
have time to unpack all of that. No, I guess it kind of makes sense that Carden didn't see her. Because he
Yeah.
probably was, like, majorly disassociating,
Yeah, oh yeah.
as a lot of victims of abuse I have been told do. So it's just, like, that makes sense. But the fact that Balkan just walks in and doesn't see her, like, he's gotta be dense.
Dude.
Now I understand why men can't find things that are, like, right in front of their
Yeah.
faces.
Uh-huh.
Dude,
We're gonna edit that
Balkan's line to Carden, I don't order this because I'm angry with you, brother. Balkan tells Carden, causing me to shudder. I do it because I love you. I do it because I love our family. What
Not-
kind of fucked up shit
Not
is
that-
that?
not
so
the-
trauma-inducing.
not
let
the
me tell ya.
gaslighting. Hold.
No
the
wonder
fuck
Cardin doesn't
up.
know how to be a decent human being.
Like, he's so emotionally unavailable because of what Bale came.
And I'm not saying. So here's the thing. I'm not going to be the person who justifies people's terrible actions. Like, Cardin is an asshole, and
Mhm.
he
Yeah.
needs to like own up to those actions. But it's definitely very interesting to see why.
Yeah.
Like, you have a
Mhm.
reason. He has a reason why he's like this, and I think Holly Black does a great job of like, okay, I feel bad for you,
Mhm.
but not in the way that it excuses what you've done.
exactly.
No.
You know,
Yeah.
like, it's a good balance.
Like, yeah, because Jude says, it doesn't make me like him any better for the first time he seems real. Not good, but real.
real.
Like, that, I think, is an amazing contrast in not only, like, their relationship, Cardin and Jude, but, like, as Jude as a person, too. Oh, what did you think of Cardin saying, when, after he goes to lunge for the human servant, saying, I am no murderer?
That's a lie. Everybody in this world is a murderer except maybe Taryn because she's kind of a chicken. Like,
Well,
She does murder. She
oh,
does murder people. Do you not remember that? Wait, is that not in...
no, bitch.
Well,
Why are you
spoiler.
spoiling shit?
not that kind of spoiler, homie Hopper.
Oops.
It's okay.
Oops.
Anyway,
I
chapter 13.
forgot what chapter that was in.
It's
Chapter
okay.
13.
Mm-hmm.
When she finally, like, gets back to the Court of Shadows, right? This is where,
Mhm.
yeah. Yep.
She's reporting back.
Oh, and
and
then
then
he's like-
literally says, "Good. Did you enjoy it?"
Like, and she's like, no, I had a panic attack the whole time.
It's like, nah, I had to hide in the leather chair because FML.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck my life, of course I
People
couldn't have it.
literally didn't see me though. It was pretty great.
Oh, meeting the other spies.
Oh yes.
Oh,
That's right.
okay. I'm very excited to see this dynamic play out.
Mhm. Who do you like the best so far?
Oh,
There's Roach, Bomb, and Ghost.
Yeah.
I think it was Ghost that I liked.
Mm,
I
Yeah.
don't remember.
Yeah, because Roach is the first one they meet. Or
mhm.
she meets. And he's the one that, like, leads her to the spy quarters.
Yeah.
And we're talking about, like, Prince Elwyn and Queen Orla and things like that.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Maybe. Oh, okay. Also, random thing. Maybe Vulcan plans on marrying her. What? If it makes things too obvious, he's going to be the next one to get a knife in the back, and he wouldn't be the first member of the gentry to wed a sister. Ew!
That's a big.
Yeah.
That's nasty.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
If he tries to marry her, he'll get a knife in the front.
Yeah.
Orla
was-
does not fuck around and find out.
No.
Well, I'm about to make a connection, but we'll get there later.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's gonna get a knife in the throat. Is he?
Is he?
Is he?
More on
Yeah.
that later.
Alright. Yeah, when he leads her down, I fucking love how Roach just lets her hit the door.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, that's right, you can't see anything. And
Yeah,
she's
he's
like, the
oh,
fuck, dude?
wait.
Well, come on, get in and close the door. I can't see in the dark, I remind him.
And then she like wonders
She's
if
being the most just like, are you kidding me? Like, really?
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
It's like that friend that you forget is colorblind. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
does this outfit match? I don't know.
It's just, I
Yeah.
know when we come to the door because I walk straight into it, much to the amusement of Roach. You
Yeah.
really can't see, he says. I rub my forehead. I told you you couldn't. Yes, but you're a liar. I'm not supposed to believe anything you say.
Okay, I think I was a Roach Herber because he's just such he's teasing
He's
her,
just
but
very
in like
upfront.
a big brother way.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
he's the only person that hasn't given me so far from what I remember because it's been a while since I read this chapter. So far, he's the only one that hasn't given me the ick.
Oh, wait, but the bomb is kind of cute.
Yeah.
That's
The
true.
bomb is cute.
Yeah.
Honestly, the Court of Shadows is besides Prince Dan is the only ones who have not just given me total ick.
Yeah.
Something's
Yeah.
still up with them, and I'm not trusting them. But I'm like, okay, you guys actually seem really fleshed out and really cool, and yeah,
Mm.
everyone else in your world is very sus, and I don't like it. But
I love how the
Yeah.
bomb was like, let's initiate her. And Jude's like, oh shit, what do I gonna have to do? And then the
Yeah.
bomb just starts laughing. She's like, oh, don't worry about it.
Yeah, she's just messing with you.
Yeah.
And it's the welcome, says the roach, to the court of shadows.
Bam,
And it's like,
bam, bam,
starts. This could be the start.
We're gonna get copyrighted.
I don't care.
If this goes viral, High School Musical, we're sorry.
Yeah.
But also, Zac Efron, listen to our podcast. We think you're awesome.
Wow.
Wow.
Just hitting on Zac Efron
What
out
the
here.
fuck? Anyway.
Well, we all know which celebrity I
I'm
would
the
hit
bomb,
on.
she says. I like blowing things up. Honestly, that's the greatest
Wow,
introduction
how
I've ever heard.
original.
Yeah.
You
So
don't
original.
say.
Anyways, we're moving on to chapter 14. Sorry, I didn't address that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're in chapter
Yeah.
14 now.
Yeah, we are in chapter 14.
This is what
It's a
is
pretty
this?
short chapter, to be
Yeah.
honest.
It's basically just more introductions with the Court of Shadows, talking to everybody.
And Jude being like, I'm tired.
Yeah, just
Yes,
being like, I'm
fucking
stretching
tired.
myself thin. This is more Locke BS.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That's when she comes home and Locke and Taryn
Yeah,
are
are there.
talking,
Yeah.
and she's like, dude,
Okay,
what the fuck?
I'm gonna say it now. Spoilers ahead. Taryn is Taryn and Locke have a thing.
Really?
Really?
You think so?
Taryn, listen, because I said this in the last episode
Mhm.
when Jude was like just randomly staring at Locke, like not even
Mhm.
in a way of like, oh my gosh, I love you, and like I'm
You're
gonna
cute.
my gaze from across the room, like not even in that way, just kind of like zoning out and looking at him. And Taryn is like, stay away from him. I'm like,
Mhm.
there's something there. And then Taryn's like, I basically have a boyfriend, and he's gonna like declare his love for me at the coronation or whatever.
Mhm.
And Jude's just like, cool. Which is half the reason. This is honestly a big chunk of the reason why I'm suspicious of Locke.
Yeah,
Because I'm like, no, you can't convince me yet that Taryn and Locke don't have a thing.
those are very
Yeah.
good points.
That
Those are
something's going on there. And I think that's also part of the reason I was suspicious of Locke. Not only, and it's not just that, because, I could be totally wrong,
Mhm.
but just, as I said, Locke has something going on with him, and I
Yeah.
don't trust it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I honestly, reading this again a second time, knowing the outcome, I'm just like, wow, he really is sus.
He
just
is!
has so many sus
I know
qualities.
nothing. I know nothing about the
Like-
outcome. I've been sus about him from the beginning. I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't like you. Like
Yeah.
something's weird
He's
here.
just, I freaking hate him.
Nobody goes like
Mhm.
enemies to lovers is great. Nobody switches that fast.
Man. No, absolutely
no
not.
one switches that fast.
Nope.
It is not possible.
Yeah, it's just more Locke bullshit for most of it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then she was like, Maddox is teaching her like sword play and stuff like that, and he just gives her a ton of shit to read.
Yeah.
And then Taryn again being a bitch.
Taryn just fucking shit up again because.
She's like, but they'll kill you. And he was
And
like,
she's like, cool, this sucks.
she's like, they
Yeah.
will, because they will kill you. And she goes, they better, because anything less isn't going to work. And I was
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
You just
pop
Oh,
off,
snaps.
queen.
Like, yeah.
Like, good grief.
Yeah. Like, okay.
So here's another thing.
Yep.
You
Go
like
ahead.
back to my evidence. You talked to Jude about school. There was
Yeah.
trepidation in Taryn's
Mhm.
voice. I wonder what
Mhm.
they spoke about before I returned. I wonder if
Mhm.
he persuaded her to attend the lectures again, and if so, how he did it. Until tomorrow, he says to us with a wink. And she won't look at Taryn.
That's the sleaziest thing.
She won't look at
Mhm.
Taryn. I'm like,
Yeah.
like Taryn has a thing for Locke, and
Yep.
it's like, yeah,
It's the almost
It's-
kiss that they share too while Taryn is there. Like,
yeah. I don't like.
Mhm.
I'm like,
Yeah.
like this isn't right.
No, you're on. I think you're onto something, honestly.
Yep.
Like, I think it's the. Oh man, I don't like Locke.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which I find very interesting because, to my knowledge, you guys liked him. You guys liked him the first time you
Yeah.
read this.
Oh
correct?
yeah, I liked
Yeah.
him. I honestly liked him a lot. I was like, oh, this is gonna be such a great pair because all I've heard is about Jude and Carden, and I'm like, well, frick Jude and Carden. I think Locke and Jude are better. Anyways, it's almost like being a Sarah J. Maas fan
Yeah.
and liking Tamlin and Farrah before you know the whole events, and then you're like, why did I ever like Tamlin and Farrah? Oh Lord.
Yeah. Yeah. So, let it be known, book club unhinged listeners, that I didn't like Locke from the beginning.
And Anya and I did.
Let it be known.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna have. I kind of hope I have this moment where we're gonna read the end of the book and I'm gonna be like, I was right. I knew it. Like,
Okay,
so one of those.
There is a cute little moment towards the end of this chapter, though, that Taryn and Jude share about the Alice in Wonderland book, which I think is cute and
definitely.
sweet. However, when
yeah.
she wakes up, what did you think of when she finds the paper that just says Jude all over it?
Okay. So, I feel like this note is referenced as part of the Jude and Carden romance, because let's be honest, Jude and Carden are gonna end up doing something. It's gonna happen. That's what I think. But I'm just, why her name? Multiple times. And is that pen ink or blood?
It's pen ink.
Okay, I'm like, I can't tell.
If you read it, it's like in some place the
ink smudges, that's right.
Yeah, the ink smudges.
But I just...
And the fact that he put it in the Alice in Wonderland book, too.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
I feel like it's going to be something that's supposed to be cute, but I'm just not seeing it yet.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested to see how that connects, because maybe when I understand what fully happens, then I'll be like, oh, yeah, that is really touching and cute. But right now I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Because if I had that happen to me, if there was some dude who just wrote Allie over again, I'd be like, I'm just gonna put that away and
Stalker vibes.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that.
Like, she sees it and basically, like, feels like she's gonna faint. Like, she doesn't know how to handle this, because I think in these moments she thinks that this is just hate mail, basically. That he hates her so much that he would write her name over and over and over and over and over again like that.
I hate you so much, I'm gonna write your name.
Yeah, like, she thinks that this is basically him writing her death wish.
Well, you can't blame her, because what has he shown this point?
True.
Like, I would think he'd want to kill me too.
Dude, and then Oriana, when she's, again, the next morning, when she's thinking about the note, like, she's just thinking about it, and then Oriana's like, Jude? And, like, they're talking, and then, what does she say? Oh, and just who were you thinking about with that dreamy expression like that on your face, Oriana asks.
Okay,
like,
I'm just saying, like, why do people fall through stupid people? Because Carden has shown no inkling of being into her. Except for the fact where she finally was like, no, you suck, I'm not folding to you. And he was more like, wow, I was not expecting you to stand up to me. Like, what is with YA fantasy women and falling for men who are trash before they redeem themselves? Because, let's be honest, enemies to lovers is one of my favorite tropes. And sometimes, a lot of the times, those men are trash. However, before feelings start happening, they at least begin to redeem themselves.
Yeah.
Carden got beat up. Big frickin' whoop. Like that does not excuse everything else he has done.
He made her dance
up
naked.
To her.
Well, not her specific, like him specifically, but he like
it
hasn't
just
done anything for her.
Kitty's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it literally just, I don't get it yet. I'm like, where's your reason for falling for him? Where is it right now? Because right now it's just like, oh, he wrote down my name. Like, what? No.
Yeah.
Alright, then this is the
seamstress chapter.
This reminds me of our D&D session where we just picked out clothes for the ball.
Is this? Yeah. Oh yeah, this is where they get their dresses, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this
okay. Description of her dress.
That, but I also love the fact that this little like snippet from the fairy tales. It says, "Of course, Taryn is right about stories. Bad things happen to those princesses. They are pricked with thorns, poisoned by apples, married to their own fathers.
Yeah.
They have their hands cut off, and their brothers turned into swans. Their loves chopped up and planted in basil pots. They vomit up diamonds, and when they walk, it feels like they are walking on knives, and yet they still manage to look nice."
Yeah, I thought that was good.
Yeah, it's pretty much what it's like being a woman.
And then,
in this day and age.
The whiny bitchiness of Taryn.
I want this dress.
No,
that sucks.
Like, literally, like, she's like, I want this one, and Jude wanted it first, basically, or just, like, wanted the same
She
fabric.
was even just looking at it. Like, she never even said that she wanted it, but Taryn saw that she was about to say that she
Yeah.
wanted it, and then was like, no, I want that one.
Like, the absolute audacity that she has.
Well, and listen, that is, I'm gonna admit, that is a sibling thing where, like, you see your sibling want something, it's like, well, now I want it.
yeah.
But that's when you're, like, 5.
Yeah, they're...
Like, you don't
They're
do that when you're,
17.
you don't do that when you're 17 years old. Like, grow up.
Mm-hmm.
I do have to get going before too long because I still have to take the trash out. So, like,
Yes.
we just need to keep moving for a little bit.
Okay.
When she lashes out at Oriana for not letting her near Oak.
Yeah,
Like,
that
yeah.
pissed me off.
That
Oh.
she wasn't allowed near Oak, or that she lashed out.
Yeah.
No, that she wasn't allowed
She
near
wasn't
Oak.
allowed
Yeah,
near
because,
Oak.
like, that's her brother.
That's like her brother, their family, they're growing up together.
Well, also,
Um,
what I find interesting,
Mhm.
Oak is the one who glamored her.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
Oak is the one, and it wasn't intentional,
Yeah.
but Oak is the one who was causing Jude harm.
Mhm.
And yet,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
But
What do you
anyway.
think about her poisoning herself?
Yeah.
The
Oh,
villain
yeah,
movie.
yeah. Mithridatism.
Mm-hmm.
Mithridatism. Yeah.
That's, I mean, it's good in theory, bad in practice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, literally, there's like a little thing. I do not make it down for dinner. I'm too busy retching, too busy shivering, too busy sweating. I fall asleep near the bed in my room.
Yeah.
Oh my
Just like,
god.
you fall asleep
And then the ghost
Why?
summons her.
Yeah,
like-
the ghost literally just pokes her in the stomach after she's been vomiting. Is like, get up, time to train. You know?
Yep.
It's like waking
Yeah.
up that one drunk friend.
Yeah, get up.
It's like, get up, roll on your side,
Yeah.
time to face the day.
Exactly.
Ooh, her overhearing in chapter 16. Her overhearing Nicasia and Hardin's conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep. Carter won't forgive you. Oh, I overhear Nicasia ask Locke once as he joins them for the lecture. Carden won't forgive you for what you're doing with her. Who do you
See?
think he's talking
See?
about? Tara
I
or
don't
Jude?
know. Probably Jude, but I'm just saying something is up with Locke,
And then-
and I will not let it
Dude,
go.
and then Locke goes, but Locke only laughs. Is he more angry that you chose me over him, or that I chose a mortal over you?
Bum, 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 bum.
Like,
Roasted.
the love triangle there, I think, is so interesting because, like, Carden was chasing after Nicasia. Casia's like, no, I'm gonna go for this dumb fuck Locke over here and fuck you. And then Locke's like, bye, I have a mortal now. Like,
That's a kick to the gut.
I think it's the biggest kick to Carden, honestly, that it kind of deserves.
Ooh. And then this scene with Bitch Face, or
Oh,
Valerian.
Valerian.
Is this the first time he tries to,
Yes.
Mhm.
start? Okay.
Bring down her?
I
Yeah.
mean, again, are we surprised? I wasn't.
Yeah.
No,
Not-
he's like,
Then
this
he
is...
cuts
face.
the Roland Berry string
Mhm.
off of her neck.
And
then
she's
he
like,
just stands
uh-oh.
there and is like, call down to Carden, tell him he's won, and then jump from the tower.
Yeah.
After all, being born mortal is like being born already dead.
Yeah.
And even she's like, the violence of it. Like, this man
She's
would
like,
straight
damn,
up
okay.
he was
murdered
ready
her.
to kill her. He really was.
And then she just saying, I'll take the stairs. And Valeria's like, what the fuck?
Like,
yeah.
like you're supposed
Well,
to
also-
literally listen to me.
What's so interesting is that I feel like if, worse had come to worse, and he had glamored Jude and had succeeded and she had jumped, that would have been the one line where Maddox would have killed him.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
it wouldn't have mattered, because
Yeah.
honors, it doesn't matter who you belong to. Honor is still a big thing in
Honor
this
is
world.
honor, yeah.
So it's like, oh, well, eye for an eye. You murdered someone, I'm gonna murder you. Like, tough
Yeah.
nubbins,
And then
Oh,
he
yeah.
like proceeds to attack her, and she stabs him. But then
Yeah.
she almost thinks about pushing it deeper, and then it says, "You're no killer." And then she balks and pulls the knife free.
Which,
Mhm.
another thing. Can we, Dane gets mad at her for
Oh, yeah.
defending herself.
Yeah.
Like, was
Yeah.
I just
Yep.
supposed to let him stab me?
Yep.
But
Mhm.
we're...
Mhm.
We'll get to the next part that I was thinking later, because I was thinking about Dane, going to talk about Dane confronting her, but
Yeah.
there's something that happens in between that we gotta talk about
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, dude. Carden, when she comes down, and he says his eyes narrow at the blood, and he points a wooden stick at me. You seem to have cut yourself. I wonder if he's
Yeah.
surprised that I'm alive. I wonder if he watched from the tower the whole time during his luncheon, waiting for the amusing spectacle of me jumping to my death. And then
Mhm.
she fucking threatens him.
Yeah.
I could cut
Yep.
you too. And then Tara, dude, like, oh, shut the fuck up. And even Carden's like, oh, go away. You're boring us. He's like, go, point that knife at me. I
Yeah,
Yeah.
do
Let's
it.
go.
He's just like antagonist. That's hot enemies to lovers. It's
Yeah.
just the like,
Yes,
do it.
That's how you
Do it.
do it.
I
Bitch,
fucking
you
dare
won't.
you.
Yeah, like,
I mean,
point that knife at me. Like,
we all know I would not last in an enemies to lovers. Enemies to lovers would not work for me in real life, but damn, do I love reading about it.
Yep.
And also, you think I don't deserve him?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I think you're perfect for each other.
ooh.
Yeah.
See, that would make me immediately suspicious. Because, like,
yeah.
I probably would have just stopped talking to Locke overall because I would think
yeah.
he's messing with something.
Oh yeah.
And then
Back to this whole stories bit. I like for things to
Oh.
happen, for stories to unfold, and if I can't find a good enough story, I make one.
Like why? Yeah, just what in the
Disgust
world?
me.
What is with him in books?
I don't know.
Can he even read?
Can he even read? I don't know.
Well, my name's Locke, I'm 19 and I've never learned how to fucking read.
And then he takes her to his estate.
Big red flag.
Mhm. Yeah.
I was like, nope.
Oh, learning about his mother,
Yeah, what did you think of that? What did you...
Lariape. The having.
I mean, this isn't the first time that somebody in a fantasy novel has dead parents. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Did you find anything interesting about her? Did you just kind of be like, oh, this is just
So-
trauma dumping?
okay, it's just, I think I don't even know if it was trauma dumping. Again, it's been a hot minute since I've read this part, but it's just kind of like, it's interesting to see that his mother kind of connected him to the mortal world a little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
none of the other kids' parents did that, I don't think.
Yeah.
Whereas I
Mhm.
think his mom kind of did.
Mhm.
So I'm wondering if that has something to do with why he's not, at this point, a total jerk
Yeah.
to Locke or to Jude and Taryn,
Mm-hmm.
because his mom seemed to introduce him to the mortal world.
What do you get? What do you
How did she
think
get
of
again?
them?
I totally forget.
She was poisoned.
That's
by
it.
a blusher mushroom.
Yeah.
Blusher mushroom connection
Mhm.
to the note. I'm like,
Mm-hmm. Picturing something there.
Like
She
something
also
like
was
that.
I was pregnant when
Yeah.
that happened.
She was pregnant. When that happened, she was a.
Wait,
Was
wasn't
that
she
part that
pregnant?
revealed about who she was at the time?
Yeah, there
She
was a child. His child, I
Mhm.
suppose somebody didn't want it born. Blusher
Yeah.
mushroom.
Oh yeah, the king's
Yeah.
the king's heir, another
Yeah.
heir.
Oh yeah.
So.
This is why polygamy
Yep.
doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you think of them making out? Multiple times.
Multiple times.
Throughout this
Just
chapter.
barf. Like, no.
Yeah. She literally
Why?
says,
They
I
asked her to stay tonight.
Yeah, stay the
I'd be like, no.
Yeah.
I've known, like, this has been established for what, 2
She
days?
literally says, I like you. I like pretending with you.
Oh yeah, when
I
she's
just
like,
called
I
us-
like
I-
pretending.
I just hypocrited myself. I was like, what? This has been going on for what, 2 days? I'm like, oh shit. Well, I'm like, well, okay, never mind. Because I can't fault her too much for that
Also,
because I've done the same
him
thing. But
dressing her up in his mother's jewels and his mother's
Mhm.
gowns just gave me an
Yeah.
ick factor.
that, you
Yeah.
know me too. I'm like, I don't.
Because he says when he tries to drape me in his mother's jewels, I say
Refuse.
no. I refuse.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a
it's
big
just
red flag for me, honestly.
Yeah, I'm just. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. Oh, and the party
Oh,
itself.
the freaking party. He kisses her in front of everybody, too. She literally says, Locke kisses me again.
And
in front of
Taryn's not
fire.
there.
Everyone can see it. I don't know if they're looking because I closed my eyes.
It sounds, to me, it just sounds like Locke wants to have his cake and eat it too.
Oh, and then Carden literally being like fondled by two girls while he's staring directly at Jude is a
Yeah.
little creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
what? How does he expect her to react to that?
Yeah.
Because, like, I would just be like,
Dude, get a room.
I'd be like, okay, and then I'd just turn away. Like, I'd be like, I don't need to see this.
She also doesn't. Valerian's also not there.
Well, yeah, because she fucking stabbed
Stabbed
him.
Yeah.
And then 17 when she wakes up the next morning, and
Mhm.
and oh, the parallel to the grass stains on her gown.
Oh yeah.
Not that I'd be the first to green gown her. Like,
It's that for me. It's Valerian's fucking voice for me.
Just
yeah.
gross. All the men in this book are gross. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Like, Black, I think that's your point, and you've done well, but if it's not your point, they're all gross.
Yeah. What do you think about her conversation with Nikasia that morning when she wakes up?
Oh, jeez. I just... Your hair looks like a thicket. Thanks. Like, alright.
When she just talks about Carden ruining things. And
Yeah.
Jude's like, you fucking now just figured that out?
Yeah, right. That's my best.
She's
I like
you dumb bitch.
that's just what's I think is so interesting because is Nikasia into Carden?
Yeah.
Or-
Oh,
She still is.
Yeah, yeah,
She's still
she's
very
into
much
Carden.
into
So
him.
she's like, poor girl can't get any bitches. Like she's
Yeah.
just struggling.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, there's just so much going on. I'm sorry, the cat's tickling my foot.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, we're playing with kitties.
Dulcamara then talks about the crown of
Oh,
Elfame. We get a little bit more backstory.
I like the
with
lore.
it.
I like
Yeah,
the lore.
we get a little
That's
bit of a
lore
lore
dump.
I
dump.
love to see it.
You
like
know,
the lordums.
we do like the lore dumps.
Kitty.
Oh, and then Taryn. Again, I feel like every time Taryn is mentioned on the page, I just
We're
wanna
just like,
roll
Taryn
my
can
eyes.
just go away.
Like
Right.
she's
Go
just
away.
interrogating Jude about everything.
It's like I was at a party
Oh,
last
and then
night.
yeah, and then she's like,
You
"So
don't
you
need to
like
know."
him? Really like him?"
That's
Of
what.
course I do.
See, she has a thing for him. There's a thing there. That. Nope. There.
Nobody
Yep.
says that if they don't have a thing for them.
Yep.
The acorn.
Oh
with
yeah.
Mariah P's last
Mhm.
words.
Yeah.
The dearest friend, these are the last words of Mariah P. I have 3 golden birds to scatter, 3 attempts.
The cat. She's playing with my bookmark.
Oh.
My bookmark has a string on it.
Dude, I'm reading about a dead woman.
I'm playing with a cat.
Um,
Excuse me, I'm Taryn. I'm playing with a cat right now, and you're just making this
Oh
all
my
about you,
God.
and I don't appreciate that. Sorry.
you need to sit the fuck down and just shut up and be like me. Anyway, 3 attempts to get one into your hand. I'm too far gone for an antidote, and so if you hear this, I leave you with the burden of my secrets and the last wish of my heart. Protect him. Take him far away from the dangers of this court. Keep him safe and never, ever tell him the truth about what happened to me.
I wonder if
Mm.
Locke's mother was trying to do the same thing that Jude's mother was, just trying to get him out.
Yeah.
Like, what's the connection? Maybe this might be a crackpot theory, but I wonder if was the king's heir really the king's, or was she doing stuff with the mortal like Jude's mom was?
Oh, that's a good
Like,
theory.
what's
That's a
going?
good
Like,
theory.
I wonder if that's really what happened, and that's why she
Before
was
got killed.
poisoned.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, this
Infidelity.
in this court, you know, you can have not only can you have multiple partners, you can also you pick your heir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, the chances if if the king's having more kids, the chances of your child specifically being chosen, yes, they're lower,
Mhm.
but they're not. It's not impossible. It's not like
Yeah.
it's not like this would have been the firstborn
And
son.
it's not like you can have other partners if you're a concubine of the king.
Right. Like literally you can I'm just like I don't think it was just a thing because like yeah the Fae are wild and they're they're ruthless, but it's just kind of like
Yeah.
was he really the king's?
And then
Yeah.
her connecting the dots to the blusher mushrooms
Mhm.
and like the providence being not the blusher mushrooms themselves, but like the person.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, moving on a little bit farther into this
Yeah.
chapter, what do you think of her going back to Hollow Hall and breaking out the human servant?
Dude, you have a heart of gold, but you could have done better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like they're just you could have gone about that better.
The whole thing was a shit show.
It just
It
felt
from
like a
good to
shit
bad.
show. I'm like, this is a shit show. This is going to be a shit show, and they're not going to get out of this shit show.
It was very good intention, but very horribly executed.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Precisely.
Well, also, my favorite is like she goes to Vivi and is basically like, "Yo, I need help hiding a body," and Vivi's like, "All right."
Yeah, I love
Not even hiding a body, but just like, "I need your help," and Vivi's like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And then I love how she was like, I thought you were going to say you killed someone. And she was
Yeah.
like, haha, that would never happen. Like a chapter later. Like
Kill
literally
someone.
that
Yeah.
same night, she murders somebody.
Yep.
No,
the
I
first
love
time.
that's like the sister. I love the sister relationship because you can say it definitely shows the whole like even if my siblings and I aren't close,
Yeah.
they piss me off, I would still bury a body for them,
Yeah.
and that's literally just the trope of just like all right,
Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh, did you expect what happened to the servant girl to happen?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Really? I was the only one that was shocked by that when I read it for the first
shocked.
time.
It was more just like oh well
Yep.
this it wasn't like okay. I shouldn't say it was expected, but it wasn't like completely blindsided, unpredictable.
Mm.
Because, you know,
Yeah.
why is she in the Fae? Does she even have anything to go back to in the mortal world? Like,
Who knows how long she's been gone?
yeah,
for.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, who knows how long she's been gone for? We could be talking like
Yeah.
hundreds of years. So, you know, makes sense why she would just rather
Mhm.
Off herself.
off herself and
Yeah.
be done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her poor family would never know what happened to her.
No, that's sad.
If her
Mhm.
family's even still alive.
Yeah.
And again, her family could have all died.
Oh, and then we get to the Prince Dane
Oh
chapter.
yes, Prince Dane confronting her
Okay.
about stabbing Valerian.
Again, big, major, icky vibes. He's just like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna make you stab your hand.
Oh,
It's like,
that made
no.
me so uncomfortable.
why? I'm just like,
Yeah.
And then when
okay.
she does it, he's surprised. He's
Yeah.
like, oh shit, she stabbed her own hand.
well, he
Yeah.
just glamored her to do it.
Well, no,
Of course
he
did.
took the glamour off of her before
Yeah.
she actually
Mhm.
stabbed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
started
made it.
to glamour her and
He
then stopped.
made her do it, but then paused before she did it, so that she had to do it of her own consciousness. And
Yeah.
he's like, "Don't disappoint me," but like never expects her
Mhm.
to actually do it. And when she puts it through her hand, he's
oh,
like,
oh.
"Oh shit!" And then he's like, "Don't ever reveal that to anybody, by the way."
Yeah.
Oh, you caught me slipping. Like, sorry, I shouldn't have done that. It's like,
Mm.
no, I don't like Dane.
Like,
Don't
I
like
think
it.
it was. I think him doing that though wasn't putting her in a position to fail. And when she didn't fail, he was like, "Oh, now I kind of have to like pick myself back up."
Yeah,
and,
I
like,
kind of
move,
have to like blunder my way through this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Because again, this is all just a game to him. I don't think he actually cares.
Yes. Ooh, here's another thing. Do not reveal your mastery over glamour. Do not reveal all that you can do. Show your power by appearing powerless. That is what I need from you.
Mhm.
Why do you need that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, why do you want her to appear powerless? Because I don't think I think you can appear, you can not be suspicious without being powerless.
Mhm.
Don't be suspicious.
Don't be suspicious.
Don't be suspicious.
Yeah.
Don't be
So I'm
suspicious.
literally just like, okay, why does she need to be powerless? Because at
Yeah.
this point now she's been showing that she's not powerless,
Mhm.
but you can be
Mm-hmm.
sneaky about it.
Mhm.
Like I would just full on be like, yeah, I mean, I'm not powerless. I'm not
Mhm.
going to tell you why,
Yeah.
but like,
Yeah.
fight
Exactly.
me, you know, just
Like a
fuck
bug.
around and find out. You
Oh.
know?
Exactly.
The dresses when it gets
Oh,
there.
Love the dresses.
Mhm.
Jude's dress is the best,
Yeah,
hands down.
Absolutely.
Oh, can we talk about the fact that Orla thinks she's sleeping with Dane?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Jude's just like,
Ariana's just like,
okay.
Oh, and how about Oriana revealing that she was part of the King's consort?
I want to know. I want to know more about that. I want to
Mhm.
know more. Dive into it.
you will definitely dive into it.
I wanna
later in
know.
these books.
I want to know.
Not this book. I think it's the next book.
It's
that
the
you
next book you
find out
reveal
more.
a little
Yeah,
bit more.
I wanna
about that. But yeah, and then she goes to Taryn, and there's actually like sort of a sibling bond here.
Yeah. They have their moments, but I think Taryn overall is just too whiny.
Literally.
And
Yes.
she does not care about Jude the way that Jude cares about everybody else. Like,
True.
it's very evident that Vivi and Jude care about each other in very similar ways,
Mm.
but Taryn just thinks for herself.
And it's not even like a difference.
All the time.
It's not even like a difference of showing love.
yeah.
It's just full on Taryn. Just like she just doesn't know how to do it, and it's like, what is
And
happening
I don't
with
know,
you?
like, I'm not excusing that behavior by being like, maybe that's her own way of thinking that's how she has to survive, by showing no mercy at all to her own sister.
Mhm.
But then, if she doesn't show mercy to her own sister, why is she showing "quote unquote" mercy to the people who don't deserve it?
Exactly.
Her sister deserves it. Like
Mhm.
Cardin and the crew don't.
Taryn
Mhm.
wants to blend in, Jude doesn't give a shit.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And then bitch face.
Oh my
Oh.
word. That listen. The fact that Dane just told her not to and she still did.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
One of
Great job, first of all, but I'm just very interested to see the repercussions of that, because she can't hide that body under her bed forever.
Well, look at
Mhm.
what she's. One of my favorite lines that Jude says is she repeats what Dane says. It says, "Do not reveal your skill with a plate. Do not reveal your mastery over glamour. Do not
Yeah.
reveal all that you can do. Little does Prince Dane know, my real skill lies in pissing people off."
Yeah.
And then she just eggs him on. Like, what the fuck do you expect, Jude? Like,
Well, also, I like how she's like, I could scream. It's like, Bitch,
Do
why
you?
don't
Why
you?
don't
Like,
you?
you should. That's your smartest move. Because
Yeah.
here's the thing. If she had screamed and then killed him,
Yeah.
it would have been like, oh, it's
Very
self-defense.
Yeah.
But she didn't.
Mhm.
So if this comes out, it's gonna look like she just killed him. Because
Yeah.
she's mortal. No
Yeah.
one's gonna believe her.
And his curse at the very end of his life.
Yeah. That made me very eerie when that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
curse you. I curse you 3 times. I curse you. As you've murdered me, may your hands always be stained with blood. May death be your only companion. And
Yeah.
he didn't even get to finish. Like, what would
Before
he would have
dies.
finished it with?
But yeah,
Like,
I just, again, I'm like, Jude, you should have screamed. Because
Really?
then you would have probably gotten out of this okay. Matic
Yeah.
probably would have been proud of you.
And then
Exactly.
Also, I'm not okay. I'm not okay.
Yeah,
I'm not
I was
okay.
just about to say. And then the ghost arrives on the balcony. He can't tell, and that's the important thing. Me,
Yeah, all of the time.
Yeah. And then chapter 19, we move into their secret little mission. They're trying to figure out
where she kills another person.
Yeah, right.
I
Like,
love-
literally
and
seconds.
I also
after.
think it's Ghost, right? Who's just like,
Yeah.
oh, first time, and she's like, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm lying through my teeth. and it
There's
is the
totally
first
not a
time.
body lying
Yeah.
under my bed
And he's
growing
like,
mushrooms right now.
Sometimes mortals throw up or cry. It shouldn't
Yeah.
shame you. And she's like, I feel fine.
She's like, I'm good. It's fine. Great. I'm totally fine.
At the very end of this scene, though, she's like, "But we all want stupid things. That doesn't mean we should have them." And I'm like,
Locke?
Oh, and the fact
You
that
dumb
they
bitch.
got set up to kill that messenger. That
Mhm.
poor messenger was such a sacrifice.
I know.
Because
Yeah.
even if he would have
It's literally the opposite of don't shoot the messenger.
it's shoot
Yeah.
the messenger.
It's shoot the
Literally,
messenger.
The messenger has been shot.
Deceased.
It's literally
And
so
then
bad.
and then she finally buries the body
Mhm.
by the
took her long enough.
Yeah, like it was sitting there for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if like one of the servants had just been like cleaning her room and she's like, oh, let me sweep under the bed. What the fuck is that? You
Yeah.
know, just like,
Oh,
Yeah.
and then when they're getting ready for the ball, I'm sorry, but Vivi calling Maddox daddy.
Like she
I
was
was
so
so
daddy.
uncomfortable.
Sure, daddy.
I'm like, the best part is Maddox seems to be like, oh, it's
thanks.
a fatherly moment, and we're just like, oh
No.
god. Maybe it's just the connotation that word means these days, but it's like, no.
Oh, and then Maddox gives her the sword that
Yeah.
her father made, her real
Her real
father
father.
made.
I need to know more about that's my
I
only
need to know.
that is my only pet peeve about this book so far is like, oh yeah, let me just drop something really great and
Then
not give you
never
I'll give you a
any
feel.
information on
never.
it. I'm like, no, why are you like you could unpack so much about the world, about what happened before, about
Yeah.
the lore, about the notes. It's like, oh yeah, your dad made this sword.
Mhm.
Anyway, just
Him
get
and
it.
his
She's
mom,
like,
your
no!
yeah. Him and your mom actually met in Fairy. What?
I'm just like, okay, Maddox, what? Holly Black, give me more info, damn it!
Yeah.
All right, and
I love your book, by the way, it's great.
Notorious Chapter 20.
What a mind fuckery that was. I was reading this late last night after
Mhm.
just a very eventful weekend, and I'm literally counting on my fingers as people are dropping like flies.
Yeah.
Because, like, Falcon challenging Dane. Big surprise.
Uh-huh.
Full on
Mhm.
stabbing the man?
Yeah.
Can't say I saw that coming.
No.
And then, stabbing Aelwyn first. Like,
Yeah.
she was
His
never even
sister.
involved. And he's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna slit your throat. I'm gonna cut you in half. I'm gonna stab my
Well,
father.
yeah, she was literally, like, poor Eloise, she was just standing there.
And got
Yeah.
her throat slit.
And
Like,
Maddox killing Dane.
Like,
That was a moment
yeah, I
for
want to
me.
know. I want to know what's going on there, too.
and then
Mhm.
was it the ghost or the roach that kills
The ghost kills
the other
the princess.
princess that's trying to crown
Celia?
Dalkin?
Celia.
Celia. Yeah, he shoots her
Yeah.
because he's like, "There's no way you're getting this crown, bitch."
And then what?
Raya.
Raya.
She kills herself.
She kills herself.
She's like, I ain't
Right.
fucking doing this
Like,
shit
the
no
whole
more.
royal family just dies.
Yeah.
the whole time, Carter is just drunk
Cardi
off his
drunk off his
ass.
ass this whole time.
Can you imagine? Can you imagining like sobering up and the next movie like, man, what happened last night? Yeah, your entire family's just dead.
Yeah.
What?
The
I
next
have to
two
wonder-
chapters are so
I wonder,
funny.
was Cardin in on it?
Ooh.
Because Cardin and Falcon are quote unquote close, as close
Yep.
you can be to somebody who beats the shit out of you. Was he in on it?
The next two
know.
chapters will
Yeah.
tell you the answer to that.
Oh,
That is definitely
Very excited.
what
Yeah.
those
But yeah,
next two
chapter-
chapters are one of my favorites.
Yeah, but
Just
chapter
the
20
sheer
just felt
funny.
like a mind fuckery. I'm like, what is happening
I know,
right
the
now?
first time I read that, I had to be like, huh?
It's literally because it was one of those moments where it was like 11 o'clock, and I'm just like, am I okay? Am I reading this correctly? What is going on?
Chapter 30 kind of ends the book, and then there's an epilogue. So next time we're gonna finish that.
All right.
All right, you want to do the outro
Yes.
because it's your house?
Yep. Forgot what the outro was. Oh, that was our book rant. Thank you for shutting.
Take two.
That was our talk on books today. Thank you for shutting up and listening. Allie, tell us where we can be found. On
We can be found on all these socials, mostly Instagram and TikTok, at Book Club Unhinged, all one word, and we can be found anywhere podcast. Jesus Christ. Anywhere podcasts can be found. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it, we're probably on it. And if you heard the cat, Meeple says subscribe.
People says subscribe and good night, friends.
Bye.